Welcome in, everybody. We're just throwing the link here in our Clipper community for the people helping us share our content and help us grow. So if you guys want to do that, by the way, feel free to hop in alturasociety.com and become one of our Clippers. Let me finish pasting the link in here. I don't know if you guys are tuning in. I just got done watching the Olympics, so I've been pretty active on there. I don't know if you've been following it much yourself, Anthony, but
No. I watched the Super Bowl yesterday, but no Olympics yet.
yeah, it really just kicked off, so everything's just getting started with it. So we're pretty early, but it'll be a good time. I always like watching the winter stuff because you just don't see that kind of like you see basketball every day, right? But you don't see like bobsledding and stuff. So it's interesting to see how good people can be at some of these like obscure sports. To me, at least, obscure sports. Like I don't really watch, competitive partner figure skating every day and stuff, but it's crazy the talent out there. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Ascended Podcast. We're back with another episode here. I'm your host, Caleb Schilke.
Anthony Parra.
And let's get into tonight's episode. Am I coming through clear? You can hear me?
Yep. Am I?
Yep, we're good to go.
Perfect.
Here's something that nobody wants to say out loud. Most founders out there don't fail because of their idea and how bad it is. They fail because they spend roughly 10, 11 hours a day on stuff that really has nothing to do with actually selling things, their business itself, right? They're doing emails, invoices, scheduling, research, follow-up. It's this never-ending avalanche, I would say, of admin that buries you before you really even get to work that matters. And a lot of you guys think that's what it means to be a business owner. The problem is, right, half the time you're getting advice that just says hire a VA or get an executive assistant, right? If you're getting overwhelmed, just hire somebody to help you. Well, if you're a brand new entrepreneur, that's $3,000 to $5,000 a month for a founder who's not even making money yet most of the time, who's eating ramen, right? And maybe living with their parents still in college, and who's wondering really if this whole business was a mistake to begin with. You guys don't have the confidence, the social proof yet, and it just doesn't make sense to expand that far. So what we're going to talk about tonight is what we've done that's different. We replaced that entire stack, the virtual assistant, the researcher, the scheduler, the email writing assistant with a $20 a month AI. And it actually worked.
I might need to stop you there. That kind of just sounds like every AI grifter on Twitter right now saying things like, I replaced my whole team with ChatGPT. We've all seen that thread in our industry, at least. It's usually garbage. So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, and you're right to be skeptical. I would be too if I was just hearing this. And that's why we're here. And that's why you're here, right?
Yeah. Kind of want to, I got to be here because someone's got to call it up when some stuff that doesn't sound anything unique coms up. So,
well, perfect. I appreciate it because we're gonna have that be your job today. I'm gonna walk you guys through exactly what we've built, what Nova is, what it costs, and what it actually solves, what it is as a program. And your job, listening to me today, is to be the bullshit detector. Call it out and poke every single hole that you can find. But most of them, right? I'm going to trust that Anthony's going to do a good job and try to catch me if I'm saying something that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, gladly, man.
So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. I'm going to take you back about 8 months. I'm sitting in my apartment right here at about 2 a.m. I've got 17 tabs open. That's just a problem I have regularly. I'm trying to write a follow-up email to somebody that I met at an online event really 3 weeks ago, and I can't even remember what went on. I knew it was something related to real estate at the time. I got a spreadsheet, right, of leads that hasn't been updated in a month. I've got a calendar, right, of appointments and things I got to do. Some of them are important, some not. And it looks like a damn war zone. And I'm thinking like, this is it, right? This is how it ends. Not with some dramatic failure, but entrepreneurship just half the time fails because I'm drowning in admin until I quietly give up with it. And the worst part is I knew exactly what I had to do to grow at that point, right? I had the strategy, I had the vision, I had the system down. I just couldn't execute it by myself because I was buried in the operational sort of quicksand that nobody warns you about. And so that's when I started building Nova.
Well, here's my question. I think it's kind of what everyone's thinking right now as they're viewing the podcast. But how is this different from ChatGPT? You say this is why I started building Nova, but doesn't ChatGPT do the same thing where I can just go there right now for free, say something like write me a follow-up email, and that's it?
You're right. Yeah, you could technically do that.
So what's the pitch for Nova?
The pitch is that ChatGPT doesn't know who you emailed. It doesn't know your calendar. It doesn't know your leads. It doesn't know what you talked about at that conference I mentioned. You have to re-explain your life. You've had to take screenshots and send it as attachments, right? Every single time you open a new chat, because it just doesn't really get to know you as a person. And so you're starting fresh every time. That's not some sort of executive assistant like we're told. That's a very smart person off the street. You have to keep reminding who you are.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
So an actual assistant, right? They know your context. They know your priorities. They know when you say stuff like follow up with Sarah. It knows who Sarah is. It means the Sarah you met at the FinTech event, right? Not your Aunt Sarah. I actually have an Aunt Sarah.
Yeah, I mean that's what Notion AI says too, though. It's like what every AI tool says is we know your context, we know your story, we understand more about you, and then you use it, and it's kind of mid. So
Yeah, and I've ran into that a lot too. That's part of why it's motivated me so much to build this. And again, you're not wrong here. And 6 months ago, I would say I would have agreed with you. That's what makes what Nova is interesting. I'm going to put the numbers on the table, right? Just because I think people underestimate how expensive to really is to just hire somebody advice. A virtual assistant, like a good one. You see the millionaires, right? I've watched Iman Gadji for a while, right? He's got his assistant Amara. Like all these millionaires, Grant Cardone's got an assistant, right? Somebody that follows you around, that knows your life, that takes care of the things that you are forgetting half the time, right? Not just somebody you tell what to do, but somebody who proactively says, you forget these things regularly. Let me take care of them for you. Those types of people, right, that don't ghost you after a week, they run you like $1,500 minimum if they're virtual to $3,000 to $5,000 a month for a starter. If you want somebody that's US based who actually understands your business and is really proactive and has experience, you're looking at $3,000 to $5,000 minimum to have that person for you for a month's work, basically. In Upwork, right, freelancer, you can go and hire today for research, for writing, for scheduling your tasks, probably to $50 to $100 an hour. You need maybe 20 hours a week of that kind of support. That's $4,000 to $8,000 every single month.
and at that point, are most solo founders making like what range would you say?
Zero or really close to it. That's the trap, guys. You need the help to grow, right? That's why every millionaire has the help, because it's the biggest thing is the little things. But you can't afford the help until you've actually grown first.
So if you can't afford it but you need it, like what's your alternative? I mean, ChatGPT Plus is $20 a month. Claude Pro is also $20. What's Nova doing that justifies even comparing itself to those two?
Yeah, and you're just alley-ooping me here. I appreciate it. And ChatGPT Plus, $2, right? It's an incredible tool. I've used it for. At the end of the day, it's just a chat window. You type, it responds with context, basically a fancy version of Google that's contextual, and then it forgets stuff. Every conversation, even if you're paying and you have the advanced memory stuff, it's basically starting from scratch. Claude is the exact same deal, especially their pro model, right? Amazing for very long documents, coding stuff, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't send an email, it doesn't book a meeting, and it doesn't research a lead or draft an email outreach. It just kind of talks back. Now, again, a human executive assistant is somebody who actually does those things. But again, $3,000 minimum. Nova does those things for $20 a month.
So you're telling me a $20 a month AI bot sends emails too?
Yes.
What about book meetings?
Yep.
Research leads, draft personalized outreach?
Yeah, I would. Yep, all of it, really. And that's not just like templated garbage. That's like you click through and you still have to kind of manually do. No, it's actual personalized outreach based on who it knows the person is, what you've told it about, what they've posted about, what your connection point with that person is. I think you're muted, Anthony. I think you were talking.
You know,
Yep, I got you.
I was just gonna ask, like, the biggest issue we have right now is that AI technologies aren't really the point yet where they kind of speak coherently like a person. So what do you do when, I mean, like I use certain AI tools that kind of claim these same things you're claiming, but they hallucinate. I mean, they make stuff up. They send the email to the wrong person. Who's liable when Nova screws up?
And that is a real concern. I'm not going to pretend it isn't, right? It's like the internet in the 1990s. It seems advanced, but if you look 20 years from now, it's going to feel like it's brand new. And I appreciate that term you use, hallucination. That's basically when an AI kind of goes into a daydream, right? When you tell it and it kind of blanks on really what you were trying to have it do. It's not very reliable in its job. And so that's a very good term to bring up. I'm going to say two things. First, Nova operates on what it's called a confirmation model. It shows you what it's going to do without doing it first, and then you approve it. It doesn't go rogue and email your investors at 3 a.m. like you guys are seeing Claude Bot or Claude Code do for you.
Well, that's good. Seems like a better model.
Yeah. And second, right, it is built on the latest models, right? But the magic isn't the AI itself. The magic is the context layer. That's what you guys are really paying for. Nova sits on top of your relationships, your history, your goals. So when it drafts the email, like I mentioned, it's not hallucinating. It's not like just kind of throwing random details together that you're going to have to correct 50 times. It's pulling from real data about real interactions that you've actually had by accessing your email, accessing your Notion, your Google Drive, your inbox on Slack, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, how is that system different from just a really good CRM?
Right, because a CRM doesn't write the email. A CRM doesn't tell you, hey, you talked to this person or you haven't talked to them in 3 weeks, let's say, and they just posted about raising a funding round. You should probably reach out to them. A CRM is basically just like a filing cabinet, right? Nova is the person who actually opens the filing cabinet, pulls that file out, reads it, writes a note about what it should do based on that blanket information, and then it walks into your office and puts it on your desk for you to approve.
For $20?
For $20. So I want to talk about like something that we haven't told anyone. And again, this is why this podcast tonight is important, because I do think it matters.
Oh, we're gonna let them know.
Yeah, I think so. So about 4 months ago, Anthony and I had a real argument, right? Not like a healthy debate. It was kind of an actual disagreement that almost broke the partnership.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, I'd say.
So do you want to tell them or should I?
No, I'll just I'll add where I can. It's all you.
Okay, fair. So we're building Nova, right? This AI, and I want to go all in on the AI, like fully autonomous, like what you guys see with Claude Bot or Claude Code. Like, let's say it just sends emails without approval. Let it schedule meetings for you without asking. Full AGI energy, right? Like we're going toward. And I could have built that because I believed, and I still believe, that the future of AI just handles things for you. Anthony was against it.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really against the AI per se. It was more just like I was kind of against shipping something that could potentially embarrass our users. I think there's a difference between those, but
right. And I took that as you not like believing in what we were doing.
yeah, and I took your pushback more as like you caring more about the demo than our users.
At the end of the day, I think we were both right and both wrong, therefore.
Yeah, so I guess the compromise then, which is what Nova actually is now, so it's kind of good we kind of had that argument, is the confirmation model. AI does the work, humans approve the output, kind of get the best of both worlds.
But getting there, right, to that end goal, it seems perfect, but it was very ugly. I mean, there were days where, we weren't getting along good, days where I was like, maybe I should just kind of figure it out by myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the irony, is that we're building, a product about founders not being alone. We almost blew up our own partnership just because we couldn't communicate well.
Right. And that's why having an AI, having something that can communicate, right, is so important. The thing that saved all of this, honestly, was having other people around, right? The podcast, alturasociety.com, like our network, the community, people who've been through partnership conflicts. Like one of our members, gave us advice. You guys are having the same argument every co-founder has at this stage. Basically, any old timer would agree with that, right? This is a way to get through it.
Yeah, she was right too.
Yeah, and that's the thing nobody talks about. Like the tools that you use to deliver are great. The AI is great, but you can't replace humans fully, right? The human infrastructure, having people who've been where you are, sitting there with a past experience, half the time, guys, it's really just, I know what I need to do. I just need someone to come in and say, that's right or that's wrong, right? You're making a mistake. That's what consulting is, and that's why it's worth the money. That's what's actually keeping you guys most of the time, that one person, from imploding on yourself.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. It's not even really a sales pitch either. It's kind of just, the truth about what actually happened. So
Yeah, I'm not trying to make this like a big thing. I think it's important for you guys to know we're not trying to like replace human relationships. We're trying to show you why it's so important that the AI you use to complement yourself needs to have that focus. And I want to tell you guys about somebody, right? I'm not going to use her real name. We'll just call her Maya. She joined the community about 5 months ago. Maya is a solo founder, right? SaaS product in the kind of HR, human resource space. Very smart as hell, right? Great product, but she was stuck at, let's say, $2,000 a month, and she couldn't figure out how to break through, how to grow it. So talking to her, right, the problem was obvious. She was spending, and I'm not exaggerating, 6 hours a quarter of the day on non-revenue tasks, emailing people, doing research, scheduling calls with partners, literally just virtual assistant stuff, following up on leads, the operational nightmare that I just mentioned earlier.
Yeah, without even saying her name, I remember her. She was in one of the accountability pods.
Right, yeah. So here's what happened, right? So she started using Nova just for the outreach, just telling it, send an email to this list of people. Nova says, does this look right? She said, yeah, and then it takes care of it, right? Within the first week, Nova had drafted 47 personalized outreach messages to each person uniquely, and to potential partners, customers, right? Messages that would have taken her, even with AI, right, and tweaking it herself, like 2-3 hours probably each to research and write, like to really hammer home the point.
Yeah, at least, man.
Yeah, and she approved them, she sent them, and within 3 weeks, right, from 47 emails, she had 12 calls booked, right? Closed 2 new enterprise contacts, enterprise meaning like business to business style stuff, right? She went from $2,000 in monthly recurring revenue to $8,000 in 1 month.
I mean, that's kind of where I'd have to push back, though. I mean, how do you know that was all Nova and not just her finally doing the outreach she should have been doing all along?
Good point, right? That's exactly the point, though. I would say she knew she should have been doing the outreach. That's what she was trying to work on. She'd known for months, and she really couldn't do it because she was buried. Nova didn't give her like some magical ability to sell. It literally just gave her time back, and that is always the most valuable resource. It removed the execution bottleneck that was taking her away from the important stuff, so she could focus on what's actually a talent of hers, right? Selling, building, and closing the business itself.
Yeah, so you could say that Nova didn't necessarily replace her, more just like uncorked her.
Yeah, it really opened up her abilities. And that's a better way to say it than really anything I've come up with. It uncorked her.
Yeah, I'll kind of admit it's a little hard for me, but when I saw her Slack messages in the pod I mentioned earlier that week, posting numbers, posting screenshots of deals she's doing, I started to get it. That wasn't really AI hype. That was finally a real person getting a real result from the product.
Right. And that's why Altura Society doing it in front of other people is so important. Other people see that too. And 3 of them started doing the exact same thing, using Nova, freeing up the day-to-day sending emails, right? Even just like paying an online service to develop a lead list for you and then putting it into Nova and having it email. It's the same playbook, getting your time back, freeing your time up while still bringing booked calls in the door instead of paying marketing agencies. And you guys just get the exact same results by being smarter instead of working harder.
Yeah, I hear you now.
So I guess at this point, right, I have a question for you, right? You came into this podcast to I guess, be the skeptic, right? That was your job. So I think you pushed back, right, on everything, and I appreciate that. The AI claims, the cost comparison stuff, the success stories. So where are you now, basically?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd say I'm still skeptical of the industry. I think that 90% of AI tools are vaporware with good landing pages. Um, I think most AI powered products are kind of just API wrappers with the logo. I mean, it's made pretty possible by tools like Claudebot, things like that. We talk about that all the time. Like it's probably the future of a lot of small businesses, if you can call them that. But admittedly, Nova, I mean, I've watched it from the inside. I've seen the code, I've seen what goes into development, I've seen the user sessions, I've seen what we'll call Maya's numbers. Um, the thing that got me, I guess, what's kind of changing my mind, growing on me, isn't really the AI. It's more watching founders who were stuck get unstuck or uncorked, as I said earlier.
Love that.
And not because of like a magic algorithm, but it's just people finally have, a tool that's built to do the boring stuff so that they can do the important stuff. And, I guess that's different, even from my skeptical point of view of the industry, because it's not necessarily built on the AI bubble, the hype around it. It's just truly useful. So,
Yeah, and it's like it's really what AI is supposed to do. It's taking care of the easy stuff. It's not like supposed to draft the next Shakespeare, right? It's not supposed to take your job inherently, right? It's supposed to empower you to take your time and give it back to you on the things that you shouldn't have to be just stuck around doing all day. It's $20. Yeah.
yeah, $20 is kind of, I don't know, sounds too good to be true. I almost feel like we should charge more for it so people believe it. You know what I mean?
I see ChatGPT, I see all these other competitors, and I don't want to. I want to give the opportunity to people while we're still young, right? Because I want help revising it, right? And so I'd say here's my challenge, and I'm serious about this, right? If anybody watching right now is like a founder, you've used ChatGPT, you've used Grok, you've used Gemini, Claude, right? And you're spending more than, I would say, 2 hours, right, a day on email research, working on some sort of business, follow-ups, scheduling your calendar, right? The stuff that isn't actually putting money in your pocket through selling. I want you to try something. Go to ChatGPT. Use ChatGPT for an entire week. Use it for everything. Outreach, research, scheduling, all of it. Track how much time that you spend copying and pasting your context, re-explaining who you are, taking screenshots and putting it in, reformatting your outputs, and then try Nova. DM me what happens. Like my inbox on Instagram is open, seriously. Or just join Altura Society and I'll see you in the live chat. I want to hear all of it, right? Because the gap between smart AI that talks and AI that actually does things, that can put emails out the door with my name on it, that's the gap where founders live and die right now. And most people don't even know that that gap and that performance is what makes everything and gives you the power back.
Yeah. And if you think it's BS, I mean, come tell us. That's fine too. We'd for sure rather have honest feedback than just kind of fake fans or people promoting it for, for illegitimate reason. So come try it out. If you don't like it, that's fine feedback too.
And you don't see Sam Altman or Elon Musk sitting down on a podcast that you can trust, taking your feedback from the comments. I'm literally responding week by week to people that leave comments, especially on YouTube, because I get those right on my phone. If you comment something on the YouTube podcast when it's posted here, I'll go hand reply to it for you. And whatever feedback you think you have for Nova, I will listen to it. I promise you I'll implement it. That's the show, guys. Anthony, thanks for playing such a great role here of challenging me and causing me to explain myself. I appreciate it. I'm Caleb.
I'm Anthony.
And once again, thanks for tuning in on a Monday night. This is the Ascended Podcast. We'll see you next week. And as always, I'm rooting for you. Take care, guys.